Hello. Welcome everyone to African Travel and More. I'm Yolanda and this is Jeff. And today we just want to welcome you to our show. And today we have a hot button issue for some, but for us, it's just time to say something. We've been chatting with friends in one of the banned country. Well, yeah.
So what we have to say is that our trip to Africa that was
let's
coming
do
up
some
in
music
weeks
first.
is I'll play it for you. See, we're home again. We're home again. We can't go to Africa because we're home.
Yes.
See, we're home again. We're home again. We can't go to Africa because we're home.
Okay, welcome. So yes, we are home. We did have plans to go. Unfortunately, we're going to tell you in the next few minutes or so, or however long it goes, why we changed our mind. I know it's obvious, but it may not be so obvious because for some people it may not affect them. People are able to travel now. You're able to travel more freely if you have been fully vaccinated. However, if you do not wish to get vaccinated, then our experience has been in different countries that even
in all honesty,
Mhm.
the vaccination will get you to the door. Like if you're unvaccinated, some doors you can't get to.
True.
But then to get in the door, you still have to like take tests.
Right.
So the vaccination don't get you through. I mean, it changes every few weeks.
It does. It's you are correct. It's
right.
it's not certain, and the uncertainty is what we don't want any part of. We experienced that in our last trip over the summer. It was really a bad experience in Morocco. We shared that in our Morocco video, and where we were actually held against our will. Our passports were taken, and we just, I'm just not feeling it. Also, the fees that are being charged in my wonderful Ghana that I love, $150.
Right, just to get in and out of Ghana is going to cost you almost $600 for a couple.
Yes.
So it's it gets annoying after a while. It gets kind of old.
Yeah.
But that was not even the biggest deterrent.
No.
The deterrent was the new variant that they found, the Omicron, as Joe Biden would say, the Omicron. But it's the Omicron virus.
And then if you want to be really scientific about it, this letter that I got from our friend in Botswana is actually, the variant is actually called B11529 is the scientific, I guess, way to say it. But anyways, it's wow, yeah. So we just decided that we're not gonna. We just don't want any part of it because we've already had a taste of it while traveling, and it just, what do you call them? It's a lot of bullying that takes place with this testing and all of that. The people just feel that they can act any type of way, and it's really uncalled for because if you're trying to make people safe, then it's just different ways to go about doing that.
But, right, and one of the things
go ahead.
One of the things is what made me very hesitant. I'm saying with Yolanda is that this is just a variant that is actually symptoms are mild.
Yeah.
And it's a variant that happens when people are vaccinated and unvaccinated. And the people that they discovered the variant in, at least the 3 people in the United States and many people in South Africa are vaccinated people. So considering that they banned these 8 South African countries, I mean, just boom, banned them. not because it originated there, but because South Africa was the one who reported that they found the variant.
Doing the right thing.
So how many times you think they're going to tell the truth again?
Right.
They're going to do like as people say China did. They kept it under wraps for a long time.
Okay.
Before they told anybody.
Right.
So how do you think that the next country who finds a variant going to be the first one to reveal it? And then after more discovery, they find that it's very likely that it didn't originate in South Africa. It originated somewhere else.
Yes.
It's just that South African scientists found it and decided it would do the right thing by alerting the global community.
Correct.
But as a result, their reward for alerting the global community is they shut off flights to South Africa.
Right.
Not only U.S. and Europe and all around.
They shut it down.
Like,
they said, no. Oh, look, there it is. I just remembered to put up the So I think, do you want to show the video,
sure,
some of the videos, because there's some clips that we thought were interesting. Well, and actually it kind of gives you an idea of what's happening on the other side of the world. And to tell you the truth, you don't really hear a lot of this in our media. You don't hear the other side of it. And actually, I have one of our friends in Botswana actually sent us an official press release from the health ministry there, is what it's called. And I might read a little bit of that later, but I can't really, I wanted her to come on and talk about it. But she is closely connected to the office of the president in their country. So as you can understand. So let's look and see. In this video clip, we have of, I hope I don't mess his name up, President Ramaphosa. This is what we already know.
These restrictions are completely unjustified and unfairly discriminate against our country and our Southern African sister countries. The prohibition of travel is not informed by science, nor will it be effective in preventing the spread of this variant. The only thing the prohibition on travel will do is to further damage the economies of the affected countries and undermine their ability to respond to and also to recover from the pandemic. We call upon these countries that have imposed travel bans on our country and our other Southern African sister countries to immediately and urgently reverse their decisions and lift the bans they have imposed before any further damage is done on our economies and to the livelihoods of our people.
Yes. So that's something that we already know, and you may or may not agree, but I wish I had placed the footage of many of the business people, the locals, like local street vendors, that we have frequently supported while in South Africa, saying the impact on their business. And to tell you the truth, it's not really affecting the country. You know, it's not. So I don't know what you think about that.
It's not affecting
the like it is here. I'm not trying to make it seem simplistic but it's just not. It's not the same. They're not having the same results. They're not having the same experience as we are here. Oh, I see. Hey, I always say your name wrong. Sat Ra. And you know I can't pronounce the last name, but welcome. Okay. So yeah, I mean, how should I put that, Jeff? I mean, because how should I put it?
Matter of fact, it's not the variant. The overall virus is not affecting the continent of Africa like it has affected many other continents. And there's a lot of reasons that they've given. But I'll spare you all the reasons. You can probably figure out some of it yourself. But it's not affected them like it. And but they're still trying to force the vaccine on all of them. And I think, in a way, I think this is a ploy to try to force the vaccine on many of the African countries by saying we're going to ban those countries. And they're discovering the variants all over. They're discovering variants in countries that are not being banned.
True.
So that's where this whole thing, where
Exactly.
some people have complained, why is Biden banning the Black countries or African countries? So that's a story. I'll let you dig on your other channel on that. But that's essentially is what happened. But what I want to do is just kind of point out how the media and how people fan the flames of panic. I was reading an article about the variant, and I'll just kind of summarize it this way. The variant, they would start off by saying this possibly could be the worst variant we ever had. It has so many different variants of its own, and it's got so, and it was just, and then the next sentence they go, all the symptoms are mild. And then they'll go on the next sentence. This could be the worst possible scenario. The world could end. Then the next sentence say, and all the people got it. It was mild symptoms, and they recovered. And then so it's like the media picks up on that, and they fan the flames of all of the panic and the scare and all the potential. And then, but they never get to the real part.
Yes, that's because
all the symptoms are mild.
It becomes political.
Right. And one of the things that this whole pandemic has taught me is just kind of listening to a variety of different people. And one of the things consistently have come up, many top professionals, top doctors from the top schools, and that is the initial virus is usually the most virulent, the most strong, and could be the most harmful, or in this case, deadly among certain population. But as the variants come out, the variants are usually more spreadable. They're more infectious, but they're less virulent. They're less potent. And I've seen that spoken over and over again among alternative professionals, people who are not in the mainstream. But the mainstream media enjoys the fear, and they continually beat the flames of the fear. And then unfortunately, the Biden administration haven't done anything to tamp down those fears. The only playbook they've used is vaccine, which is good for most people. But
there mandates.
But there are alternatives to that, which is sad, and there are alternatives to how viruses work, which they haven't tried to take the step to educate the public. What they've done is scared the public, and they're doing this by doing this to these Southern African countries. They're banning these people.
Well, they're banning them economically. If you heard what President Ramaphosa was saying, it's really it affects us too in the U.S. because we have the mandate where if you don't take it, no jab, no job. That's the same thing. But I want to show what one of the viewers sent in us a video that she sent in, and we have a snippet of it. And I like what Sat said. Exactly, the virus will spread on its own. They have given each country their own variant. It looks like that. At this point, it's like, who knows? Because it's such a power control. Okay, it's such a power thing.
Okay, so play your video. It's something I wanted to add, but I'll do it.
Well, you want to do it after?
I'll do it after. Okay. Let me do this now. Then one of the main reasons we want to do the video is explain why we're not going to Ghana. You say Ghana is not one of the banned countries, but the problem is because banning and restrictions and changes is so willy-nilly. They just discovered that they got the variant in Nigeria. Nigeria is a West Africa, not Southern Africa, West Africa, and it's pretty close to Ghana. So the next thing you know, we get there, and then all of a sudden they discovered the Omicron variant or the next Greek alphabet, and then
or the next number,
and then the next thing you know, we're stuck. So we have to we said they had to make a decision. whether we should go or not, we say, okay, well, we shouldn't go in this volatile climate,
No.
especially when the media and everybody don't give you good information. They give you very information to panic everybody.
Right.
And then the only thing they know is shut down, restrictions,
which doesn't work.
Lock up. What's the other one? 10-day, 14-day quarantines. So, who wants to? We already went through that.
Right. So we already know.
Right. But anyway, I just wanted to say that before you did the video.
Yeah. Okay. Because let's go ahead and just do the video. Then I'll come back to it because he made some good points. So this is an actual doctor that's talking about how it actually happened in South Africa, and yeah, it's good stuff. So let's watch this.
A warm welcome to today's talk. It's the Sunday the 28th of November, or as the world's press will probably like to call it, the third day of Omicron. In other words, there's been quite a lot of concern expressed about this Omicron variant. Let's try and get to some objectivity about this. Now, I've got a lot of information about it. I think I've summarised what we know so far. The most important bit is in the first 5 minutes, so if you can stick around for that, hopefully you'll get a bit of a gist on this as to what we know so far. Now, this is the Omicron variant, as we know, the B.1.1.529. Now, we want to think about the people in the world that know most about this are the doctors that have actually treated the variant so far, and there's 2 of these in South Africa. So these are the ones to get to. Now, this is Dr. Angelique Cortes, South African Medical Association. I think she's the boss of that. Also a practicing clinician doctor in South Africa. First to raise the alarm on the new Omicron variant. So she's in an ideal position to comment. Direct quotes. This is a storm in a teacup. Good. Why everyone up in arms about this, she's saying. So far, we have so far what we have seen is very mild cases. This is a direct quote here. Very much. This is what she's saying, and of course, she's actually treated these cases in South Africa. 17th to 18th of November, her and her medical colleagues in South Africa noticed a change in the clinical picture. So this is just what 10 and 11 days ago, they noticed a change in the clinical picture in South Africa. Now, this was after 10 weeks of having very low numbers in South Africa, which was good. She said that gave them a good breather. But then these new cases started to come. Cases still relatively low in South Africa, but picking up quickly. For now, it's extremely mild cases that we are seeing. Again, direct quote from Dr. Cortes. Looking at the mildness of these symptoms, I think it's been missed in other countries. Interesting. Certainly other African countries, it could well have been missed. So given that it's symptomatically mild, a lot of these cases, she believes, have not come to the attention of the testers in those countries. And of course, testing in a lot of other southern African countries, with the noted exception of South Africa, is very, very limited. She says it's severely mild, just a tone of freak. I mean, it's not a medical term. She was just chatting on an interview, talking on an interview. So basically she's saying these are mild, very mild cases that they're seeing. Headache does seem to be a feature. Now, this is interesting, and I'm sure this will come up on Tim Spector's work over the next few months as well. What is different is the extreme tiredness. So a lot of people have been going to their doctors in South Africa saying, I'm just extremely tired. And they turn out to test positive for COVID. So headache with extreme tiredness seems to be the main clinical feature. She doesn't mention the sort of common cold, coryzal type features that we're seeing in the UK now in the vaccinated population with Delta. It's headache and extreme tiredness that the doctors in South Africa are seeing so far, with body aches, which isn't surprising. Mostly men under 40s that they're seeing at the moment in South Africa. Interesting. I really think the vaccine plays a role here. Breakthrough infections, but very, very mild. So she's saying the vaccine is important. The vaccine is important, but they are seeing breakthrough infections in the vaccinated. But the good news is the infection that she's seeing in the vaccine, in her vaccinated patients and in her colleagues' vaccinated patients, the infections that they're seeing in the vaccinated are very mild. This is the report from the clinicians in South Africa. You can call over all of the hospitals in Pretoria. You will see there's not a huge influx of patients with this Omicron, so not a lot of hospitalisations, at least in the Pretoria area. If Africa is not going to be vaccinated, you will see new variants coming up. So is Africa going to be vaccinated? Well, the uptake in South Africa is about 24% at the moment for fully vaccinated, but that's largely due to vaccine hesitancy.
Okay.
So it's just like you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
So,
question.
so as you can see that, I mean, he's saying the same thing that I've read and I've heard. So I think right now what's happening with people, and the reason we just kind of held back on the travel,
Yes,
is the fear
Mhm.
is creating more problems than the virus.
Yes, please.
And variants, from, like I said, from, I listened to a whole bunch of doctors and professionals, and keep in mind there are exceptions, but from all these people, variants tend to be more easily spread,
Mhm.
and less fatal,
Mhm.
less virulent, or
Mhm.
less, less damage to human beings. So even when he says if Africa is not vaccinated, there will be more variants. We've already established that the variants tend to be mild. So,
Mm. But they're
it
reporting from
right.
people who
So
were vaccinated.
right. So the
So it's
point
like,
is, it's still an area where the real damage is the fear, and the variants are less damaging than the fear. Because believe me, if people were falling out in Africa, laying in the streets, and babies were dying, they would have the cameras all in
True.
people's face
True.
as they're dying.
True.
So because that's
true.
what the media does.
It's true.
But because they survived or went through this at
Hey.
such a high rate, they're now just trying
Hey,
to fan the
Ziggy.
flames of
Welcome.
fear and try to get more and more people vaccinated, because that's what the CDC and the WHO and all of those organizations want. And I'm not against vaccination. I think
Right.
vaccination is good for people who need it at a certain age group, comorbidities, all of these things that they've said.
Right.
But if someone is healthy, 21 years old, athlete, that is ridiculous for them vaccinating them, because especially those who have had the virus before,
Right.
because they already got a natural immunity and they're in a healthy age. So it kind of gets, after a while, it kind of gets ridiculous about how much fear they're just fanning versus what the real health risks are.
Well, that's why you really have to educate yourself on the matter. You have to educate yourself on health, your own health, and you just have to educate yourself. But now what I would say is, if time were not a factor, meaning that if I didn't have my day job to go back to come January, I would want to travel. I would be okay, because I would be fine if I'm caught up in the mix. Because to tell you the truth, after talking to our friend Michael in Ghana today, oh gosh, he was saying they really haven't had any of those announcements. They're not having so many people. He goes, he doesn't even remember the last time they made a report on COVID. They're living their life. So I know it's just passing through the ports, passing through the airports. That's your problem when you're traveling, because when we're traveling, most of the time we're having to lay over in maybe a European country like Paris. And right now, Paris, they had something where you have to be vaccinated, then you can come. And truthfully, their citizens are protesting. And I know Jeff is like, they protest for everything, but I mean,
they're always protesting Paris.
They're protesting in Austria. Austria just locked down their citizens. They lock down the people who are not vaccinated. And so I agree. It's about choice, period. You can't force people to do things. This is my body. It belongs to me. Now, if I can make a choice to not have a child or have a child, I can't make the choice to not take a shot. I mean, come on. And I know people get so mad, but I had to let that out because it doesn't make any sense to me. But the next thing that doesn't make sense to me, of the 8 countries Okay, now that are banned, that the ban is placed on: South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Malawi. I'm wondering, Zambia escaped the ban. Now, I'm not trying to make Zambia
Don't give them no ideas.
give them any
now.
ideas, but it's how they sit. It's how, I mean, I know they're saying, well, the variants were not found there. Okay, it's going to be found everywhere. I'm just, it's a virus. This thought of getting to zero, what they're saying in Los Angeles, zero. How, it's a virus. You won't get to zero. You'll get to where it's contained better, but we just need to learn to live with it and get on with our lives at this point, and stop interjecting politics into a health matter.
Well, not only politics, but control.
Control.
And this is given
political parties.
This is given many of the certain small entities and ilks in wealthy countries. This is giving them ability to coalesce and get together and try to create certain controls over the whole world.
Over the people.
And it's happening in a small way.
Oh yeah.
People just have to kind of recognize it for what it is and intelligently go about resisting for what they're trying to do. Now, one thing I want to say about travel, you were saying that you were okay traveling, and my issue about getting stuck is not as much being stuck in the country as many of these countries want to stick you in a particular place, and they want you to pay for it. So what they will do, they will hold you like you're a prisoner, like you just murdered somebody. They will hold you, and they'll say, you will release you to this hotel, and you have to pay in advance. So it's not like they're going to release you to the hotel and you pay for one night and you split. You pay for the time. Now you can split. If you pay for it in advance, you may be able to escape, but already you've paid for 2 weeks. You paid what, $200 a night for 2 weeks.
Vacation is over,
and then there you go.
Yeah, your vacation is over at that point. But yeah, that's true. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about we haven't had that experience.
I know what you're saying. Now, when the pandemic it first happened, it happened to a lot of people. They were just stuck in any random country.
True. That's true.
They were just stuck.
That's true. But this is my thought. If I get to Ghana, because I already know what's happening there, that is back to normal.
Right.
Okay. So I just figured, well, if I can just get past these other barriers. But I said, you know what? It's not worth it, because if I get caught up in one of the countries I have to transit through, then it's a problem. And I just don't feel like it right now. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe if I go to Ghana, we probably won't come back.
Right. And I've seen reports of people who were simply trying to get from one destination to the next, and you have connecting flights, right? And you have a layover, and find out you get to one country that says your country is restricted, therefore they won't let you I've read many stories. They won't let them connect to their next country. They'll either quarantine them in that country or send them back. Even though the flight, even when they bought the ticket said nothing about you can't connect. And we're not talking about people who are laying over, going out of the airport. We're saying people laying over in the airport. It'll be some law, rule, or whatever in that particular country. So there's so many precarious things that goes on, and like I said, the fear is worse than the virus. Even though there are people who have died, but if you segregate that out, one day the statistic will come out. I've been hearing about the alternative statistics from many professionals of statistics, doctors, professionals, but it haven't hit the mainstream media, and it probably won't hit for maybe 6 months to a year, when some of the truth will start to come out. Now, I'm not on a conspiracy theory game. I'm just saying,
but not in a year, because they're gonna milk this for all they can. But this, I like what Sachs says. The public health arm of the government has allowed the political to be front and center.
That's true.
Bravo. That's the problem. Friends in health care, people I know in healthcare. One nurse said to me, she says, I don't know how this got to this point, because this was like last year when we were going to get to travel. She said, I don't know how it got like this. She said, because more people have died from the flu. Now people get all up in arms, and I'm sorry, I don't mean it to be an insult to people who have lost loved ones, but I just have to question, yeah, why did this become political? Why did this become political? If it's a health concern,
Right.
it shouldn't never we should never have the president, to tell you the truth, telling OSHA that there's going to be a mandate. I mean, it's like, what? I mean, so many, our rights are being violated. In a minute, we're going to be taken to the streets protesting. It's true, though. It's true. It's true. I've talked to so many people, and I'm talking about what's happening here on American soil. I've talked to so many Americans. The rainbow, not just people who look like us, people who don't look like us. We're all Americans, and they're just like saying, "Oh, yikes! It's too much. It's
Right.
too much."
Because even I don't know what, I couldn't give you a percentage, but I've heard from so many people who have actually taken the vaccine, and many of them have taken it. They didn't want to, but because of their job or their position or whatever, they went ahead and took it reluctantly. And then there was people who said, I will take it because they were in some sort of health situation.
Mhm.
But they all agreed there should never have been a mandate. You educate people,
Right.
and then you give them the opportunity. I'll give you maybe the worst example is maybe cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking, we know it's dangerous and it can kill you and stuff, but it's not banned.
And stuff.
You know, they've there are certain places you can't smoke, but what I'm saying is people got educated. I quit because I was educated. I used to smoke 2 packs a day years and years ago, but I quit because I was educated about it. I didn't quit because somebody came and forced me and they said, you can't, we heard that you're a cigarette smoker, you can't come in this building. Maybe they wouldn't let me smoke in the building, but anyway,
But
I'm
it
not
got
gonna,
to that point.
but
so-
I'm just that was
Yeah.
an example, not the best example,
Yeah.
but it was an example
Yeah.
of how the mandates create resentment. Even the people who have taken the vaccine
yeah.
under the mandate, not voluntarily, people who have taken it under the mandate
Mhm.
are resentful of the government. And
But some of them are resentful of people who are like myself, who stand their ground and say that they're not going to do it. Period. They're like, what? And then it's a new segregation, vaccinated versus non-vaccinated.
but it's a government sponsored segregation.
Right, that's right. It is
You
coming to your city.
and the government and I'm not going to prolong this because this was about travel, not
Right.
all wholly about vaccinations and stuff.
Right.
But what you realize, if you go from the beginning, and I've said this before, if you go from the beginning of this pandemic, March, what was that, 2020? Or somewhere like the beginning started before then, but when they started to do the shutdowns, all the way from now, the government and the doctors, and mainly Fauci, have been either dishonest or completely ignorant. And who should follow either one?
And that's
Right.
my problem. That's my problem.
Because they've changed stuff over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So as an intelligent person of the United States, do I want to follow the ignorant or do I want to follow the dishonest? One or the other is happening with the government and the doctors, because they said 2 weeks to stop the spread. We're going to shut down for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And then
2 weeks turn into 2 years.
Right. Then then Fauci said, don't wear a mask because masks not going to help you.
Exactly.
And then he turned around and said, wear a mask. Mm-hmm. He said, oh, I told you to not wear it because I didn't want all the masks to be taken up from the doctors and nurses. So is that someone dishonest or is that someone ignorant? He's one or the other.
One or the other.
So and then it goes on. Then they get to the point where we say, okay, you take a vaccine, and there's a lot of stuff in between. I'm skipping all that, but he finally got to the point where he said, you take a vaccine, you don't never have to wear a mask again. Everything's gonna open. We'll be out of this. And it's gonna everything gonna smell like roses, right? So people started taking the vaccine. Then all of a sudden, they say, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Some people still getting the virus. Oh, the vaccine is waning. Oh, you're gonna have to take a booster. Maybe have to take another booster. I mean, I'm fast forwarding this.
It's true.
So we're dealing with people who are ignorant of what's going on, or people who are being dishonest. So how can we follow? Who do you want to follow? The dishonest or the ignorant?
Neither one.
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? But neither one you want to follow, and Fauci is the face of the the vaccine and the health, but he's dishonest. I was watching him the other day, and this is the last thing I'm saying.
You may as well say it. I mean,
this is the last thing I'm going to say, and
they'll probably want to ban.
Unfortunately, it's a little political. Now, we know we have a problem on the southern border with illegal immigration. You may have seen it where there's thousands and thousands of people come to the country illegally, right? Yeah. So the Biden administration kind of set it up for that to actually kind of be okay. They didn't do anything about it. Right. Trump was doing something about it, but Biden wasn't, right? So we get to the point where Fauci is in a press conference and they're asking him a question. They said, okay, anybody who comes to this country should be vaccinated. Fauci said, yes. Anybody from any country, yes. And he was like, oh, vaccinate, calm down and vaccinate. He was on it. And then they said, what about our southern border when people walk across and they come across? Oh, that's a difference.
Crickets.
He said, that's not a different issue. It's not a different issue. It kind of demonstrates that I don't know what's going on politically. But something's wrong because the Biden administration allowed illegal immigration. They're letting it flow. I'm not taking a position on that. I don't know what your position is, but they allowed it to flow without any kind of mandate for vaccination with people coming across.
How can that be though?
And then when Fauci, he's on it. Vaccinate anybody come to this country. And then they said, what about the southern border? Oh, that's a different story.
So it's politics. So that's why I say you have to really educate yourself about all of this. You have to just trust God. I'm just going to tell you. That's all. That's who I trust.
Or you can follow the dishonest or the ignorant.
I don't recommend that one. Look, say neither. Oh yeah. Neither one is true because it's just annoying. It's too much. It's too much here. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll just be happy when it's.
I don't know if you say you'd be happy when it's over. It should have been over by now.
Well,
but
it ain't gonna be over.
You keep getting the promise of it being over.
You gave this example, and then we're gonna end it soon. This example. Remember when we had 9/11? Okay, and 9/11, they put in place the TSA rules where we had to now get out of our shoes and all of this. And who thought it would be here even now and amped up times 10? So now we have this in place. And oh my goodness, if you think our government is going to get their hands off of that power, you better forget about it. Because we better speak up and say something about it.
Because once everybody's been vaccinated, then it's going to be another vaccination. Then it's going to be something else. Then it's going to be something else. And hopefully there'll be a political change where there will be more transparency and honesty, where people will have a choice, where there'll be more education and more choice. Because if you educate people, you probably don't need the mandate. If
True.
people are properly educated with real statistics and real information, like I gave my thing, I never had to be mandated to wear a seatbelt. When I got enough education information about
Right. You put it on.
about seatbelts and
Mhm.
that sort of thing, I realized that it was. And when I saw enough, I'll give you. I had a friend. I looked at his windshield and it was broken. His head went through that windshield. He survived it, but his head went through that windshield.
Yeah, that helps
Okay,
you. That
I'm gonna wear a seatbelt.
helps.
But so what I'm saying is I didn't need the government to come and clamp,
No.
start writing me tickets and mandating and shooting
telling
cameras
you,
on
telling
me.
you
Right.
jab or job. I
Right.
mean, that's not okay.
Right.
That one's not okay.
Right.
I know people that have been impacted by that.
Exactly.
And to say jab or job, and to tell you the truth, yeah, it's too much right now at this point.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's our decision. We will be traveling. We'll be traveling on our own home soil and trying to do more lives. And I'm so behind. It's another video that I plan on doing. I've said, oh, I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it out. But, you know, dealing with the day to day, I tell you, but it feels good to be back live again, actually talking about something a little bit different. I don't know, you know, how YouTube, everything is like censored now. So they'll probably, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to bite my tongue. You know, this is not feeding me. So what difference? What difference? But I do think that you do need to speak up and tell the truth about things. And then you'll find out that is more people that agree with you and that are thinking just like you're thinking.
Right. And
So-
and the thing is, like you're thinking, like my wife, she's totally against taking the vaccine.
Totally. It's
I
don't need it.
Here's the thing.
I'm healthy.
What I found the difference is people who are against the vaccine are okay with people taking the vaccine.
Yes.
But I'm finding a lot of people who want to take the vaccine hate the people who don't want to take it.
And
that is
I don't hate
that,
you.
that
I don't
is
hate nobody.
that's been fostered by the medical community from the White House
From
and
CNN.
the White House and from some of the
CNN.
networks that have fanned the flames of fear.
CNN.
Right.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell it. I'm just gonna tell it. And they have their own mess happening right now. Okay,
Right.
with the Cuomo brothers.
Right.
Okay,
So we
I'm so political at this
we're still
point.
working on the travels. If we can find a way, we're still going to try to do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But right now, it's
because we
yeah.
had it.
And we're going to go back to Egypt. Ziggy's still on. If he's still here,
Yeah.
we're going back to Egypt, show you more. We
Oh,
still got
yeah.
some video footage that we need to show you from Egypt. I mean,
from Aswan.
right,
That's
all
the
over.
one.
I mean, from
Oh,
all the
definitely.
stuff.
All
I
over.
got some. We have some still video
But the
footage.
best time. Oh yes, the best time we had in Egypt. So maybe soon, you know, it's gonna
Yeah.
be different.
We're going to try to work. We're still
Yeah.
trying to figure it
Yeah,
out. I'm saying, and we're saying trying to figure it out for the next 2 months.
Right.
We
That's
definitely
what we're
going to
talking
be,
about.
otherwise
in
it's going to be
June.
about 6 months,
Right.
6 to 7 months.
Right.
But we had plans to go and we had set up to go and we were going to leave in December.
Right.
But we're actually in December now. But
right.
I don't know.
But at the mid-December.
If they knock those flights cheap enough, it might be worth the risk.
True, that's true. Because you know what, the flights is looking good.
Hey,
We'll be like, well, maybe you'll catch us on the live. We'll be on our way there,
right.
making another video talking about. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they made us. They held us in COVID prison again.
That's it. Because last year it was some cheap. It was some cheap flights, and we were going everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Especially in the United States, we were traveling. I mean, it was so cheap
You can fly someplace for
for
dinner.
lunch. I'm serious. You were like, let's go have lunch in dollars. You know,
Right.
it was that
and then have
cheap.
dinner in New York.
Right.
It really
It
was
was
that
cheap.
cheap.
So with this no-fly crap and some of the crap they throwing in there,
Mm.
if we see something cheap enough, we like, it might
Yeah.
be worth the risk. You know,
Right,
if we
to
get caught
go.
up.
Yes.
The only thing that could happen is that you could get caught up and they start canceling the
Oh.
flights. Then they make you pay more.
No, don't say that. Look, I'm going to live my African experience through you guys because it seems like I'm never going to get out of the country. You will. You know what? Honestly,
Okay,
it's
we're gonna
safe.
have to get the address and we're gonna go to your place, and then we're gonna pick you up, and we're gonna take you.
Right. Because listen, it's safe to go. I'm telling you, it really is. The point, this is the point. It's just right now, because I have my day job and I have to, they got me doing the quarantine thing. Like if you go out of state, I don't want to get caught up in that. And I'm trying to come back, because I've been known to come back the day before and go on about my business, is how we do it. But with this COVID restrictions, it's just too difficult. It's too difficult right now. So that's why it's not that, because once you get there, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I was talking to Michael today. He goes, "Are you guys still going through that?" Yes, we are. He said that, well, they don't make us mandate us to take a shot in Ghana. They just say if you want to take it, you take it. And they don't want to take it because they figure they're healthy. And the people, their food is organic. They're healthy.
Yeah, so they check a lot of the marks on the continent of Africa. Very young country.
Yes.
People do a lot of walking, so a lot of walking, so a lot of health. They
Beautiful
still
sunshine.
It's cheaper for them to eat organic subsistence food than it is to buy processed food. Processed food is more expensive.
It's process. It's not many processed food places there.
So
depending which countries.
that enables them to survive these sort of things so much better than our fat butts here in the United States.
Yeah, because we got a McDonald's on every corner.
That's it.
Okay, and it's no McDonald's in Ghana. That's a good thing. They do have KFC though. They have that. But anyways, I thank you guys for joining. It has been real good. We got to vent. Like Jeff said, if the prices dip like they did, I think before the pandemic started, I think we had a flight to Paris for like $250. It was to Ghana. I think it was like $250.
It was a lot.
Oh, and then during the pandemic, oh my word!
Yeah, it's too bad.
You guys should have jumped on board for that pandemic travel. I mean, as quiet as it's kept, I was trying to tell you guys, because now they're sky high right now, and like I said, who wants to drop $2,000 each to get caught up in this country talking about, I'm sorry, you have to go quarantine for 20 days. Right. It's like, oh no. But it's never at the hotel of our choice. It's always at that really expensive hotel that you don't want to pay. So that's the problem that we have with it, is that it's a serious money grab right now, and we don't want that. But like Jeff said, now if the prices go down, we're throwing that out there. Don't be surprised if the next time we're live, we're like, hey, we made it.
Right. So look for maybe some of the Egypt videos, and then we'll come live. Yes. Been trying to work out a way to be more consistent, but
just got behind with everything.
But the times change. Y'all. We don't know. Sometimes we don't know the best time and that sort of thing.
We'll find out.
That works for us and works for everybody else.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff we need to tell you.
Oh yeah. A lot of stuff we got to tell you. We had to do a little politics today. Sorry for those who are, because we don't really consider ourselves political people. You're not really, but the truth shall set you free.
Right. That's why you just listen to a variety of information, and then and you'll get more to the truth. Listen to just one person, one channel, one TV show, one political party. You're not going to get to the truth. You're going to get to more of propaganda. Yeah. You're going to get to more manipulation and that sort of stuff. And you just got to listen.
People that have you like stuff in your house like this,
right?
Peeping out like this, you'll just be horrified. Especially if you have some of these stations on, you'll just be horrified.
True.
But anyways, let's do some music to play us out. Thank you.
Okay, so I wrote that song like 1 minute. It was just home again. I'm home again. I can't
you guys. God bless you. God bless you. Don't give up on your dream. If you want to go to the motherland, still go to the motherland. It's possible. All things are possible with God. God bless you. God bless you until next time. Okay? Bye.